Okay, okay, okay. Woo! We are back again, and oh, I'm in such a good mood. I'm in such a good mood, and you guys can probably tell why. Also, it's very dark. I apologise. I can't get my camera settings working, but yes, very, very good performance from us. In general, and despite it's weird. This kind of felt like the inverse of the reverse fixture, where largely we were the better side in the reverse fixture, and we didn't come away with the points. But then in this fixture, it felt like we kind of let Liverpool kind of have the ball way too much, and we're a bit kind of off the pace, and we beat them. Today is a good day, yes, indeed. Not only us beating Liverpool, which is always a good day, not only us getting 3 points in the top 5 race, but also our rivals Newcastle dropping points. So very, very good. Arsenal lost as well. Yeah, they got beaten by Bournemouth. So great. Got to watch go watch the F1 later. Hopefully the F1 doesn't disappoint either. That would be good. And yeah, it's a good thing. And I did hint at this on Twitter a few days ago. I think it might have been about a week ago now. I said how Maresca seems to be getting that kind of weird late season surge that Pochettino also got. And I feel like I can't remember what I said exactly, but I feel like I was replying to someone and I said what's your reaction going to be if Maresca has a similar thing to Poch and we suddenly just shoot up the table? Because that's what's happening. We've won our last 3 games in the league now. Lavia, we'll get on to Romeo Lavia now. As I usually have 7 points for these, I'm gonna have 8. I'm taking a little bit of liberties because there's something I wanted to talk about that is kind of related to the game, but like kind of not as well at the same time. Let's go into the feeling blue. Should I do? Oh, it's a good day, and it's a it's a good day, and it's like a big game. I feel I should do the formal intro. Welcome to Feeling Blue, where I will be putting my lucky 7 points into from good feelings to bad feelings. I've butchered that really badly, but it feels good to do it. It's God. But yes, I'm in a good mood, as you can probably tell. And where should we start? I think I'm going to start with that weird point that I was kind of talking about. Bingo. Thank you for saying that. We're going to start with a bingo. I might do the bingo at the end because the bingo is behind everything. I'm going to have to fix it beforehand, so we'll do the bingo at the end. Remind me again before I end stream to do that. Cool, so the first thing I wanted to talk about is actually going in the medium box. And this is weird, because I don't do medium boxes often, but it's for something that's kind of related to the game, but kind of also not really 100% related to the game. It's for the referees. Now, you guys know, and this is going to sound crazy, you guys know that I'm a big hater of the PGMOL. I'm a big hater of the FA. I'm a big hater of referees in England in general. I asked for one thing at the start of this game. I said, all I want is I just want a referee that's just not going to fuck us over. That's all I want. Just don't fuck us over and we can win this game. I knew it in my heart of hearts. I knew we could do it. And the referee, to his credit and his assistants, there was not many decisions they had to make right, but they made pretty much all of them right. And again, I'm happy to just have a game where we play Liverpool and don't get screwed over, because it feels like it's been like that every single time we play Liverpool. In the last 5 occasions we played Liverpool, excluding this game of course, some kind of refereeing decision has gone against us, and it's really disheartening always playing them, because it always happens. It's why it was on the bingo card, because it always happens. But yes, that didn't happen today. Very good performances from the ref. I'm going to put them in medium because they were balanced, and I think that's a good metaphor. Also realised that I've forgotten to pop the chat out, so I can see the chat still, but it's just a little bit less visible. So let me get that up. There we go, that's better. And as I said, especially considering they were playing a rotated side, I knew when I did my preview, I said I know we can beat these guys. I just didn't want interference from a dodgy penalty to get them up and get them confident, things like that. I just didn't want that to happen. Also, I am gonna quickly change this because it's starting to bug me. Give me 1 second. Let's do this. There we go. Sorry, the camera being so dark was annoying me. Let's talk about our first actual point here, and I'm going to get the bads out of the way before I go into the goods, because this is a very good day, and I don't want to dwell on the negatives. There's only one negative going for this game, and it really pains me to do it, because I love the bloke. It's Nicholas Jackson. And again, I don't think he had a bad game overall, but just his inability to stay on side today literally cost us about 3 or 4 goals. It was so poor from him. Some of the runs that he was making were so late. It's excusable when it's like, oh, you're marginally offside and that kind of happens. But when you are literally 2 players' widths away from the last man, when the ball is getting played to you, it's just not good enough. It just really isn't. And I said, I love Jackson, so I'm not going to rag on him too much, but he was the one negative in this game, in my opinion. It's just the only kind of player I can pick out that wasn't particularly good in terms of being a massive impact. And I said, his overall game, kind of linking up with players and stuff, yeah, that was still as kind of standard as we usually see it. But yeah, just stay on side, man. Stay on side. Stay on side. I really backed him to score as well today, because I thought, like, against that Liverpool high line and with the new scoring form that he's got in recent games, maybe he could get one here. And yeah, I feel like he probably would have got one if he could stay on side. But apart from that, let's get all the negativity out of the way, because now we're going to glaze our team. We're going to glaze our team. He did his best Timo Werner impression today. Yeah, I guess so. We're going to get all the negativity out now, and let's talk about some good things. The first thing I'm going to be talking about, and I think it's a good way to start, is because it's the foundation of the team and the platform that we kind of built to be able to win this game. And it's a linked point for Levi Colwill and Trevor Chalobah. Now, I had my doubts about Trevor Chalobah before going into this game. Even though I put him in my lineup, I said I don't want him to make any silly mistakes today. He was superb. Both of these two, absolutely superb. Phenomenal. They really dealt with the, again, I kind of spoke about this in my preview, that I wanted us to force Liverpool to play long balls. They did do that quite a lot at times, even though they had quite a lot of possession. They were dealing with the long balls. Chalobah especially, I want to give credit to, because his last ditch tackles in this game was so important, because there were so many times where they were in on goal and he stopped it. Same with Colwill getting in to stop. I think, who was it at the end of the game he stopped? I think it was Nunez. He stopped a really great opportunity for Nunez with a header. Just again, and even though they concede the set piece, and actually I just realized oops, I said I was done with the negativity. Ignore this. This is for the set piece, because it's just not good enough. The marking for that set piece was absolutely dog shit, and I don't know who's working on our set pieces, but like, why the hell is there no one marking Van Dijk for about 6 corners in a row? Completely, utterly stupid. Apart from that, though, the centre back partnership, very good. Yeah, as I said, and even to the point of actually being able to play the ball. I felt like these two, and Sanchez to his credit as well, even though Sanchez was going along a bit too much for my liking, I would say, I felt like they played the ball on the floor pretty well together as well, so there's good positives there. Speaking of spines of the team, I mentioned him earlier, someone else mentioned him earlier, it's going to be Romeo Lavia. Now, I said how important this guy is. I said, oh God, we need this guy on our team because of how hard they press. I don't think there was a single Liverpool player on that pitch today that could have got anywhere near this guy. Genuinely. Anytime we got the ball, they try and press him. It's no point. There's no point even bothering. It's literally no point even bothering trying to press Romeo Lavia, because he will always either pass the ball away or get past you, and before you've even realised he's past you, he's gone. And the thing which really makes it for me, and it's because, and I'm a person that loves, that people always say, I hate to say I told you so, I love saying that, I like being right, I do love being right, and when I say in my preview that, and I even show an in-game example against Liverpool, where we pass it into Lavia, he turns, he plays it up to our creative player, and then we get a goal from it. It's the exact thing that happens in this game for our early goal. It's Lavia getting the ball on the half turn, playing it into, I think it's Palmer, playing into Palmer initially, that gets us on our way. Obviously, Palmer plays it to Neto, Neto puts it across, and then Enzo scores. And it sets the tone so quickly of, cool, now we're ahead, and we actually were able to kind of sit back a bit and say, hey, we can save some energy, we can play passively a little bit here, and to kind of wear Liverpool out and then go again in the second half, and that's kind of what we did in the end. Man, that That, yeah, someone said that Virgil van Dijk tackle. I saw him clutching his knee, and I was like, please don't be a knee issue. That's one of the worst ones you can get. Don't be a knee issue. Don't be some ligaments gone from him. And yeah, it's not even just his performance today being really, really good, and obviously he ran his socks off, considering he's been really injury prone. 77 minutes in the bank for Romeo Lavia without an injury. That's a positive in itself. I'm going to give a clap for that. Because this is the thing, and the people always have been saying, like, always talk about the negatives and positives of Enzo Maresca. I think one positive that I don't think he gets enough credit for is just how well he has dealt with players that are injury prone in the side. Obviously, we've seen Reece James come back, and he has not been injured for so long. Reece James has been managed very, very well. Lavia, even though he did get re-injured during the season, he has come back recently and again has played some good amount of minutes to get his fitness up. He hasn't been rushed back. He hasn't been put in for way too long and then suffered another injury. It's good to see Enzo kind of doing that. And yeah, Lavia again. I'd run out of superlatives for him because he's genuinely one of a kind. He's a one of a kind midfielder. He's the only midfielder I've ever really watched in the modern game, in the modern Premier League, that is as press resistant as him. As I said in my preview, the only player that I can kind of compare him to, ironically, is Ryan Gravenberch. He's like the only other one. He's so good at what he does, and obviously Enzo moving Caicedo away from him to kind of allow him to play as the 6, and then obviously Caicedo can invert in, and those two can partner up. It's a dream to have those two, and I still believe it, and it's my opinion. If you don't like my opinion, you can screw off. Having Moises Caicedo, Lavia, Enzo Fernandez, and Palmer in your midfield, that is the best midfield in the league, hands down. If they're all fit, if they're all fit and they can stay there and they're all on form, they are the best midfield in the league. There is no debating it. And speaking of midfields, let's talk about a player that kicked off the scoring. That's Enzo Fernandez. Again, another one. I usually say, like, if you get a goal contribution, you go in here. But he's not just in here for the goal contribution. He's in here because, again, he's really been showing some captain's leadership skills now. That obviously James has not been starting games recently, so Enzo's had to take up that mantle as kind of the main captain, as it were. And he's been really dictating games, getting into the half spaces, getting on the ball, being able to play the ball forward. Admittedly, I feel like some of his long passes today weren't as accurate as they could have been, but he was really kind of like Palmer, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit here. He was getting on the ball a lot and just kind of dictating the play when we were playing in transition, which was really weird because we're not really a team that really strives on the transition. We're very good at being controlled, and kind of he's a facilitator of that, being so good with his passing. But he was actually good in this game despite us playing a different way. And the thing which is I really want to give him credit for is the fact that he has drastically improved from last season. He's drastically improved from any season we've seen him. I think this is genuinely his best season, but definitely his best season by goal contributions, especially. I think he's up to 20 now. And him getting into the box and being a box-crashing midfielder is so good. And the finish that he produces for this goal is so sublime, because it's to be able to have the wherewithal to take a touch in the box with your left foot, set it onto your strong foot, and then pass it into the goal when the goalkeeper is going the opposite way. That's a split-second decision that he makes that makes this goal, because he could very well have rushed this, seen that he's got all this space. He could have rushed this and tried to shoot it on his left foot, and it could have gone wide, and we kind of waste that opportunity. And to get the early goal and kind of set the tempo as the captain and be like, cool, you know what, this is how we play, and get us into the game. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Let's talk about a player that is not going to be the last player I talk about, because this is the 7th point, but as I said, I've got a bonus in here because I'm cheating. Noni Madueke. I gave this guy credit the other day when he played on the left side against Everton, because I felt like he was very good despite the position that he was playing in. I gave him extra credit when he played in the Djurgården game, because he played on his strong side and was very good again. This is the 3rd match in a row where Noni Madueke has played and has been phenomenal, and again, he was on his weaker side. He's not supposed to be a left winger, and he's really good from that side for some reason. I do say he is so, I've mentioned in the past, he is really two-footed for a winger, especially a left-footed winger, which, because usually they aren't very two-footed. And yeah, just again, he was running Trent absolutely ragged at times in this game, and it's crazy to me how good his dribbling is to go inside on his weaker foot. It's really bizarre. And again, he could have had at least a goal, could have at least had an assist if he was a bit more lucky. He obviously did actually put the ball in the net once, but again, Nicholas Jackson can't keep his arse on side. So yeah, and the thing which is crazy to me is that Noni, and this is funny because Noni hasn't played as a left winger particularly a lot. When he was playing for PSV, he didn't really play as a left winger a lot. When he was at Tottenham, he didn't play as a left winger a lot. The one place where he has played as a left winger quite more often than not was actually for the under-21s England side. And I remember before we signed him, seeing him play in the youth setup for the England youth setup, and saying to myself, I'm really surprised at how good he is on both sides. And surprisingly, we haven't really actually seen him played on the left side ever, which is weird considering we've had so many right wingers. Obviously, we've brought in Pedro Neto, we've brought in Sancho, who admittedly, despite Sancho being another player that can cut him onto a strong foot on the left side, I think he actually plays better on the right. And obviously, we're bringing in Paez, we're bringing in Esteval, and I think it's a perfect time for Madueke to be saying, hey, you know what? If you want me to play on the left wing, you can play me on the left wing. I'll play there, considering that is one of our holes in the team. And obviously, we don't have Mudryk anymore. We don't have, as I said, I feel like Sancho is better on the right hand side. I feel like Pedro Neto is better on the right hand side. So all of the players are really right sided, and he's kind of the exception. So we've got this whole thing of like, oh, Chelsea need to buy a big left winger, and we're looking at Gittins, we're looking at Rodrigo, we're looking at Barcola, and all of this malarkey. I think Madueke can play there, and I think he's given a new lease of life. Where's Palmer? He's coming, don't worry. In fact, you know what? I think I've said enough about Madueke because I've spoken about him quite a lot in the last 2 games too, how good his ability. The thing which about Madueke, which I love, is the fact that he is so fearless on the ball. A lot of other wingers are a bit scared to take on their man because they're a bit too scared to lose the ball, or they're kind of, they don't think that they can beat their man. He doesn't care. He will run at you regardless. He doesn't care. He's like, if I lose the ball, well, I know I've got Caicedo behind me. He'll win it back. And that's the thing which I really like, is he's got that trust in his backline that he's like, if I lose the ball, so be it. So what? I'm going to go forward. I'm going to make things happen. And again, unlucky for him to not get a goal contribution today, but his actual general contribution to the game was very, very good. Now let's talk about Palmer, because we know it was going to happen. We know it was going to happen. And this is another game where, because it's been happening recently where he, in the start of his kind of downward spiral, I would say, he was putting in good performances, he just wasn't getting the goal contributions. But recently I felt like he's been so off the pace, he's been so unconfident, and he's been so like even lackadaisical at times and not really putting in the effort as much as he wants. This game he returned to the Palmer that we know, in the way that he was up for the game. He was not kind of giving up and kind of being like, oh, and sulking or whatever. He was having a laugh. You could tell he was actually enjoying himself out there. He kept smiling every time he missed. And the thing which is really good about the way the Palmer plays in this game is that you could tell there was a difference. There was a different. I can't remember. It was right after. Obviously, we get the goal, and it's his turn and pass that kind of plays in Pedro Neto for Neto to then pass it to Fernandez in the box. As soon as that goal goes in, you can tell that Palmer's confidence has skyrocketed into the sky. It's gone up here. And as soon as he's confident, there's no player that's better in the league than Palmer if he's got confidence. Genuinely, he's so good. And I think Gary Neville said it on commentary best. He said, most of the time when you watch Liverpool, the best player on the pitch is Mohamed Salah. Today it was Palmer, and obviously he gets his Player of the Match award before the penalty is given. And then he gets the penalty, and obviously I'm sitting there like this. I'm not even kidding you. If we were doing a watch along, you would have seen me like this, literally watching through my hands, hoping that he didn't miss a second in a row. But he's back. He's got his goal finally, and now he's broken that duck. I really feel like that mental block is gone, because that is a real thing. Mental blocks are a thing. If you've got that thing, and it's like, hey, I can't do this. I can't score. I like you're in your own head. As soon as that kind of floodgate all that stopgap has been taken away, I think he's going to start becoming good again. We've got some really, really important games coming up. We've got United, we've got Newcastle, we've got Forest, and obviously we're going to be having the Djurgården's second fixture, which I don't think he'll be playing. But then the final of the Europa Conference League, which I imagine we will be in. I don't think there's much of a question of that. We've got some very, very important games, and he's coming into form in the perfect time. And we're getting Romeo Lavia back in the perfect time, and it feels like a real. I said if this Liverpool game goes well, I think this is a real turning point in our season, because I think the team and the young players that we have are going to get that surge of confidence from winning this game. Because regardless of them playing a weakened side, these are still the champions, and they were playing a lot of players from their actual championship winning team. They've got Virgil van Dijk in there. They've got Alisson in there. They had Salah up top. Apparently they had Salah up top. I don't know where he was. Maybe once we'll have to shake out Cucurella's shorts. Maybe he'll fall out of there. But yeah, they had Trent on the pitch as well. They had Curtis Jones on the pitch, who was a very good player against us in the reverse fixture. So despite the team being weakened, it wasn't particularly a weak side. Even like Shimikas, for example, there's a stat which is crazy. Liverpool have never lost a game. Now they have. Apparently, they've never lost a game while Shimikas has been playing. So, can't really say he's a bad player then, can you? I'm not gonna lie, because I was joking with one of my mutuals on Twitter about how he was ghosting. There was a moment in the second half where I think it was about 80 minutes in, where Salah gets like a header at the back post, and it zoomed into him like, oh no, he missed the you know how the camera does. It's like zooms into him and it's like, oh, he's missed. And I was sitting there, I'm like, I swear he got taken off like 20 minutes ago. I was like, I swear he got substituted. I swear he got substituted for Szoboszlai. Am I going crazy? But no, I jest. It's really good to be able to, as I said, this game has instilled so much confidence, and you can tell even just in me, in the fans, and I hope a lot of you are feeling like this as well, that it's like you feel like there's something special brewing here, right? I don't know if you get this. I feel like there's something underneath. We're getting this really late charge, and obviously Nottingham Forest play tomorrow, I believe. Maybe is it tomorrow? I'll have to check. I know Nottingham Forest play soon. I think they play soon. When do they play? Yeah, they play tomorrow. They play Palace. And you know what? That's a tasty affair, Palace versus Forest, because Palace have been in really, really good form recently, and Forest have been in pretty bad form recently. So they could obviously they could get a result there. If they get a result there, then we obviously I'm actually looking at the table right now, because we're currently in 5th. We are tied on points with Newcastle. It's really upsetting because we are actually tied on goal difference as well. So I think we must be behind on... What are we behind on? Is it goals scored, maybe? It might be discipline. I think we might be behind on discipline because we keep getting yellow cards. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's head-to-head. No, but we beat them in the league, though. So it wouldn't be head-to-head. I'm not really sure why. They have more goals scored? I imagine that's why. I can't actually see it from the app that I'm on. But yeah, so Forest and Villa we're now 3 points clear of those. As I said, if Forest have a bad result against Palace tomorrow, then we are 100% 3 points clear of them. And then again, it was just, I said this for the last few weeks. I said this, and I said this when I did that really big stream saying like our season is kind of over. I was saying the only way that we really get out of this slump is by taking the league by the scruff of the neck and saying, hey, we're winning all of our games, you've got to keep up with us. And the teams around us are dropping points, as we've seen from Newcastle dropping points, Arsenal drop points, even though they don't really count. Although we can actually catch, that's the crazy thing, is if Arsenal have a terrible end of the season, we can catch them as well. That's absolutely crazy. For the True Blue, we'll do the poll for the True Blue, and then we'll get on to bingo. So let me do the poll, because I'm doing things in reverse today. It's a wacky day. We've beat Liverpool. It's a wacky day. Okay. So I'm gonna be putting in. I mean, there's not. I feel like there's not much point we actually doing this because I know who's gonna get voted here, but we'll put in some players anyway. Who I don't actually know. I don't actually know who to put in here. I feel like I want to put in one of the centre backs. I'm gonna put in Chalobah for one of the centre backs just to give some variety, and then I'll put in you because I think that there we go. I think these are the 4. Like, it's really annoying that the polls are only you can only put 4 people in. How's Caicedo not here? Well, because again, I say this quite a lot about Caicedo, and that's because when I do these feeling blues, and I think people misunderstand what the point of me doing this is that I like doing this to bring attention to players that I felt played good and didn't really get much recognition, or players that were so outstanding that you can't not mention them. And I feel like Caicedo, again, I don't think he was, when he was playing in the right back role, I don't think he was particularly fantastic. I feel like he was being a bit too aggressive at times. But overall, I think his performance was good. But the thing is about Caicedo, and I say this all the time about Caicedo, is that he is so good and he sets such high standards for himself that when he doesn't have a game that's like perfect, or like, you know, he's winning every duel and stuff, I just feel like there's no point me mentioning it, because it's Caicedo. You know, we know he's going to have a 9 out of 10 every single game. It's the same reason Cucurella's not in here. He locked up Salah the whole game. I haven't put him in here because, again, I just kind of expect that of Cucurella. The lads gave it their all, for real. Yeah, I think you guys have voted for Palmer. Let me just, whilst you're actually doing that, whilst you're voting and stuff, I'm going to switch to this screen so I can sort out my the background and stuff, so I can actually do the bingo, because I always forget to do that. Actually, I do have to wait for the True Blue to be voted. Actually, why have I done that? Boom. Yeah, I'm, to be honest, when it comes to the Europa League final, I really don't. I would prefer to play Fiorentina because I've watched them play and they largely got quite lucky to get through. Yeah, but Batista I'm not particularly scared of either. We're ending the True Blue poll and we get... Oh, I've zoomed it. That's one for the bingo card. I don't know what country this would be if it's a zoom. We said Iceland for freezing. We said Australia for being upside down. What would it if it was being zoomed? Would it be America? I guess it'd be America because I'm bigger. I'm allowed to say that. I'm in a relationship with an American, by the way, so that's fine. I'm allowed to say that. I'm allowed to make that joke. They're gonna kill me when they hear that, though, I tell you. But yeah, so Palmer gets in with how much of the vote? 61% of the vote. He goes into the True Blue today, and very well deserved. Again, he's on the thumbnail. He's our best player on his day. When he's confident like this today, he is our best player. Let's try and figure out how to fix this. Let's try and figure out how to fix this so I can actually do the bingo, because I've put it all behind. So I don't know why I've put it this way. I think if I just do this, it'll work. Oh no, it's not gonna work. Oh, it's a pain. It's basically because all the text has to go. I hate the formatting. One sec. Let me go back to this. It's all the text has to be formatted in a very specific way, and it's just like, ugh, it's really frustrating to kind of get it to work. I think I have to do this. I have to send everything to the back like 4 times. It's really annoying. Boom. There we go. We've got it. We've got it working. Here we go. Oh no. Oh no. We've got the bingo. And let me move myself so I'm not in the way of the bingo. Boom. And you know what, actually, I'll put myself on this side. So I can put Palmer back here. And we can have that there. Right, so for the bingo. George appearance, we did not get that. Jackson 4 and 3, we did not get that. Clean sheet, we did not get that. Bridges bouncing, I'm going to take this because I think that... Oh, why is it done that colour? That's not what I wanted. Let's do this. Boom. I'm going to take this because I think there were some really good chants from the crowd today, and especially I feel like we kind of got behind the team a lot more. I feel like the bridge is one of those places where they do really get up for big games like this. It's just the kind of in-between games where we don't make a lot of noise. Like, say if we're playing like, you know, we're playing like Palace or something like that. Like, they don't really make any noise. Sub make the difference. This did not happen. Again, I don't think our subs were particularly impactful. I think our subs came a little bit late, if I'm being a little bit harsh on Maresca there. Early goal, we absolutely get the early goal. 3 minutes into the game. James impact sub, no, he didn't really make much of an impact, unfortunately. Over 2 goals scored, we did definitely get. Game of 2 halves. I'm not sure. I think the game was pretty much the same throughout the whole thing. I'm not going to really say, I'm not really going to put that. Unlikely goal scorer. I mean, they got an own goal and it was Kwanzaa, so I don't think that really, I don't think that's really, I don't think that's a particularly likely thing to happen. Player booked for dissent, yeah, we get Sancho getting booked for delaying the restarts, that counts. Clean tackle punished. I feel like there was one that Caicedo did, so I'm going to take this. Maresca ball in full flow. We did see this, obviously, for the first goal. We don't get in Liverpool, which is annoying. Defensive howler. I'm going to tick the defensive howler off because of the completely avoiding to mark Van Dijk. I think that's stupid. Worldy. I don't think any of the goals were particularly worldies. They were good goals, but I don't think they were particularly a goalie. Lavia, player of the match. He does not get player of the match. Palmer does, which is unfortunate. Correct prediction. Now, I'm stupid. You know this. I'm stupid. That's not the main point. I was stupid in my stream. I completely forgot to say my prediction, which, and this is going to sound like I'm making it up. My prediction for this game, I literally have it written down in my notes, was 3-1. And I was going into the end of the game being like, oh God, I've got my prediction wrong. I'm going to have to tell them that my prediction was wrong. And then we got the penalty at the end. And then I was like, oh, I got my prediction right. So I'm taking this. Set piece goal. They got a set piece goal. I'm going to take it for that. Mono on vacation, we did get this, so that's ticked off. If we only had something different other than George app in this corner, we would have gotten a bingo, which is unfortunate. Palmer goal. We finally get the Palmer goal. I manifested that. Weird sub. Did we get a weird sub? You know what I guess was quite weird was seeing Gusto come on instead of James. I felt like that was a bit weird, so I'm going to take that. Obviously, James came on later, but yeah. Sanchez save merchant. He did have to make a few saves, admittedly, and I think that he played relatively well in this game, I would suggest. And you know what? I'm in a good mood. I'm taking it. And then we're taking 3 points and we're getting bingo because I'm in a good mood. Yeah. I was going to say, that's another thing. So one of the things that I saw, which was really funny about the crowd, not just that with the London Bridge is burning down thing, but the thing that made me laugh was the Liverpool fans tried to get a Gerrard chant going, and we completely hijacked the chant and started doing the Chelsea version of the Gerrard chant. I found that really funny. I was like, give it to him. But yes, we get bingo today, and I don't know. Maybe I feel like it's better doing bingo afterwards. I'm not sure. We'll think about it. We'll fix it for later. As I said, I'm still experimenting with the layout and stuff. I think that I've got a lot of feedback from people, and I do kind of agree at some point that, like, as you can kind of tell from the thumbnail style I'm doing now, you see that I've got like most of the stuff is in the regular style, but then there's like hints of color in there. I think that's what I'm going to be kind of doing from now on. So as some people have suggested, I might go back to doing, I'm gonna edit some of the player icons so they're not fully like this, but I'm gonna make it so like I can make like the actual players blue. I'll keep the backgrounds and stuff blue, black and white, but for the most part I'm gonna be doing that. I like the kind of I've kind of gotten used to the black, white, and red kind of vibe, so I'm kind of doing that a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Lavia getting booed when he came off was really funny, and they're like, it's really funny. They're saying like you should have signed for the Champions or whatever, but it's like he's gonna get a European Cup this season, so like who cares? He gets a European Cup, and then we get into the Champions League, and like, oh god, it's so. When's the Grayscale rebrand? Well, as I said, I've got to commission my the artist that I used to get my my logo. I have to commission him to do logos for each series, and I'm going to do that all in one go, so I don't have to like keep going back to him and being like, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do this? And I'll just do everything in one like big section. Oh, he won't because he hasn't played. Oh yeah, true. He wasn't in the squad. That's stupid though. I think that he has to play 5 games, I think, to get in. That's really annoying. Oh well, I mean, it's the spirit that counts. he's in the team. But yeah, as I said, thank you guys for watching as always. As I said, the next video, I don't actually know when our next game is. I think it is the reverse fixture against Djurgården. So let me check that real quick. Yes. It's on Thursday. It's an 8 o'clock kickoff, so the pre-match stream will be at 6:30. Again, I'll pre-schedule that, so you guys can kind of wait for that when that comes in at the time. But yeah, it's a good day. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my night. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night. As I said, I'm probably still going to be ranting on Twitter and stuff. If you don't follow me on Twitter, my links are in the description. As always, you can follow me over there. And as I said, I hope you guys have a good evening, and